Fight is September between the two great fighters in our generation, Canelo Alvarez and Crawford.
With 2 times undisputed champion, and I'm grateful to fight here in Saudi Arabia, and thank you everybody for coming to support me, my family, my friend, everybody.
What just happened? Did Terence Crawford just send a message loud enough to shake Canelo's core? Did he just drop the most terrifying training video boxing has ever seen? Yes. Yes, he did. Terence Bud Crawford did not just wake up and decide to post a training montage. He delivered an earthquake wrapped in sweat, speed, and savagery. And make no mistake, Canelo saw it. Everyone did. The moment that training clip hit the internet, jaws dropped, gyms got quieter, and boxing fans worldwide realized something big was about to happen. This isn't a warm-up. This isn't a press tour. This is a full-blown mission. Crawford didn't blink. He launched a high-octane message with fists flying, signaling that he's not stepping up to 168 just to participate. He's coming to dethrone royalty.
Like always I say, Viva Mexico, cabrones!
It's a new experience for you, fighting in Saudi Arabia for the first time, fighting at 6 a.m. probably for the first time. How did your body adjust during this fight?
No, I come 3 weeks before because of that.
The man who danced at 135, dominated at 140, and crushed at 147 has now decided to defy gravity and logic by jumping headfirst into Canelo Alvarez's house. This isn't a friendly visit. It's a planned break-in. And Crawford brought his own wrecking ball. But it's not just about size or weight classes. Crawford knows that people are questioning his sanity. Fans are scratching their heads, asking how a fighter who's never taken a punch from a true super middleweight plans to survive, let alone win. But that's where the genius lies. Crawford didn't just post a highlight reel of his shadowboxing, he posted a war zone. A training session so brutal, it looked like a deleted scene from an action movie. In the video, Crawford is running the court, owning every inch of the gym. Sparring partners look like they were given bad news before the bell rang. And the punch that shook the room? Oh, that wasn't an accident. That was a statement. A moment where he faced a heavyweight in sparring and turned him into a spinning top. That's not lightweight power. That's calculated destruction.
Everybody is asking for the fight. My Nino, Turkey Al-Ashi won it, so that's why we are here.
Congratulations, Canelo. Brilliant performance.
Thank you.
What makes this even more chilling is Bomac's strategy. His coach didn't go looking for some flabby imitation of Canelo. No, he brought in Lester Martinez. If you don't know Lester, that's on you. But Crawford's camp knows exactly who he is. A Guatemalan wrecking machine. Undefeated. A knockout artist at 168, the same size and ferocity as Canelo. Martinez recently crushed Johann James in just 4 rounds, turning an unbeaten record into shattered expectations. Bomac doesn't do things halfway. He knows what's at stake. That's why he made Lester a daily dose of danger for Crawford. Every round is a survival test. Every punch is a reminder of the mountain Crawford is climbing. And yet, Crawford isn't backing down. In fact, he's smiling through it. It's not bravado. It's preparation. It's obsession. This isn't just another fight camp. It's war school. It's boot camp for breaking legends. Crawford has always been confident, but this feels different. This feels personal. His ambition is to become the only man in modern boxing to go undisputed across 3 divisions. Not just a belt collector, a kingmaker. At 140, he cleaned house. At 147, he left no question, stopping Errol Spence Jr. with surgical precision. Now, without a single tune-up at 154 or 160, he's sprinting to 168 to meet the emperor of the weight class face-to-face.
It will be in the stadium in Las Vegas in the 12th of September, inshallah.
And don't get it twisted, Canelo is no paper king. His resume reads like a who's who of boxing's elite. Golovkin, Kovalev, Plant, Saunders, Smith, Lara. He's a walking Hall of Fame exhibit. You don't just roll up on Canelo and take his crown. But that's exactly what Crawford is trying to do. And he's doing it with a calmness that's freaking people out. Bomac has addressed the elephant in the room, size. He knows Terence will be smaller, but he also knows something else. Crawford's greatest weapon isn't his hands, it's his brain. His IQ in the ring is supernatural. He reads punches like subtitles. He adapts mid-fight better than any fighter in the last decade. And Bomac made it clear, the only person who can beat Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. Still, against a beast like Canelo, that theory will be tested like never before. Canelo isn't just bigger. He's smarter than most of his past opponents. He knows how to manage rounds, force pace, and make his power felt without wasting energy. He has perfected the art of boxing like a bull, and while others admire it, Crawford is dissecting it. This isn't hero worship, this is strategy. Crawford isn't throwing himself into the fire blindly. He sees something. He called Canelo out because he believes he has the blueprint. He's seen the patterns, the weaknesses, the hesitation, and now he's designing the perfect storm to exploit it.
To this time, everything, I'm okay. I'm a champion, I'm a professional, so that's no excuse and anything.
You knew what was coming if you won this fight. That was a crack at this man, two-time undisputed champion, Bud Crawford. How are you feeling about that fight?
No, I feel good.
Let's talk about power. Crawford doesn't punch like a heavyweight, but he punches with purpose. Against Spence, he showed he can hurt bigger men. And now, with Lester pushing him daily, he's building the strength to stun giants. The key isn't to trade bombs with Canelo. The key is to hit him enough to keep him honest, then outthink him every minute of every round. The critics are lining up, though. They remember how Canelo walked through Kirkland, how he shut down Amir Khan, how he folded Callum Smith. They look at Crawford and see a smaller man playing a dangerous game. But history favors the bold. And Crawford isn't just bold, he's borderline reckless. And that's what makes him terrifying. He's walking into a volcano with gasoline boots because he believes he won't burn. He believes he can turn this inferno into ice. And honestly, that belief might be enough. Even Dmitry Bivol, one of the only men to beat Canelo, weighed in with caution and respect. He knows what it takes to frustrate Alvarez. He understands the mental war that needs to happen before the first bell even rings. And in Crawford, he sees a mentality that mirrors his own. A cold, calculating mindset with a laser focus.
It's September between the two great fighters in our generation, Canelo Alvarez and Crawford.
Still, Crawford isn't Bivol. He's not 175 pounds of lean, tactical violence. He's a man who started at 135. The transformation to 168 isn't just about weight, it's about evolution. Every ounce added to his frame is being tested under fire. Every movement adjusted, every muscle trained to move like it's still in a lighter frame. He's not bulking up to survive, he's upgrading to win. The venue? Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, promoted by none other than Dana White under the TKO banner. This isn't your grandpa's boxing match. This is spectacle meets legacy. White and Saudi promoter Turki Alalshik are packaging this fight as the main event of a new era. They've got big plans, giant paydays, and maybe even a Netflix live stream on the horizon. This isn't just a fight, it's a cultural moment, a tectonic shift in boxing's landscape. Canelo once called the Crawford fight a lose-lose. Too small, he said. If he wins, so what? If he loses, disaster. But Turkey didn't care. He made it happen anyway, because the world wants to see it. Because sometimes logic must step aside when legacy calls.
I've been in the ring with Crawford too.
Oh shit! I didn't know you sparred.
I got Crawford ready for when he fought Sean Porter.
Okay.
I was with him for a few weeks. What do I think of that fight?
Yeah.
I think that everybody knows that Crawford got the skills. I do think that Canelo's a little big for Crawford, and it'll be a tall task for him to win.
And now here we are. Crawford is not fighting for money or fame. He's fighting for something deeper, something primal, a belief that he is the best fighter alive. And to prove it, he's chosen the baddest man in the room, the boss at 168. Canelo has accepted the challenge because deep down, he respects the madness. He knows Crawford's confidence isn't a show, it's a weapon. And if he doesn't take him seriously, he'll end up on the wrong end of history. The fight might be closer than anyone thinks. Canelo will look to start fast, overwhelm with body shots, and bully his way to control. Crawford will look to slow the rhythm, dissect every pattern, and snipe from angles Canelo has never faced. It's chess versus checkers, firepower versus finesse. And if this is Crawford's last dance, what a way to go out. He's nearly 38. There's nothing left to prove. Yet he still wants more. He still wants to climb the tallest mountain and plant his flag at the top. And maybe that's what makes him unstoppable. If you blink, you might miss it. That's how fast Terence Crawford moves. Inside the ring and inside your head. The moment he dropped that training video, the internet nearly flatlined. Social media accounts erupted into chaos like Canelo's face just got jabbed by Wi-Fi. Was that sweat dripping down Crawford's face or the fear leaking from every middleweight watching that video? Nobody knows, but one thing's clear. He didn't post that footage for views. He posted it as a warning.
Here it is, the official face-off. The date, September 12, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
And what a warning it was. The kind of intense, no-nonsense display that makes other fighters call their trainers back from vacation and cancel cheat day. That gym looked like a crime scene. Each punch was a felony. His footwork could have sent a ballet dancer into retirement. The sheer velocity and precision of each movement had trainers pausing the tape like, rewind that. Did he just duck a ghost? Canelo, meanwhile, is probably reviewing that same footage in a dark room, fists clenched, trying to figure out if he's fighting a man or a myth. He's used to being the apex predator, but this time, the prey might be packing an even sharper set of claws. That training video wasn't just, look what I can do. It was, look what you'll have to survive. And Canelo's not dumb. He knows this isn't a tune-up fight. This isn't a payday. It's a legacy checkpoint. And Crawford just took a torch to the checkpoint sign. The sound of Crawford's gloves cracking pads echoed through boxing Twitter like a bomb. Analysts scrambled for metaphors. Canelo better pack a parachute, one fan wrote, because Crawford's about to take him on a free fall through hell. And it wasn't just the fans panicking. You could feel a ripple even among pros. Trainers started doubling their clients' sparring. Some even switched off their phones just to avoid seeing that video again.
You knew what was coming if you won this fight. That was a crack at this man, two-time undisputed champion, Bud Crawford. How are you feeling about that fight?
No, I feel great. You know, Crawford is one of the best out there, and you know, I like to share the ring with that kind of fighters, and it's my pleasure.
And let's talk about Lester Martinez again, because if you think Crawford was the only monster in that room, think again. This Guatemalan bruiser isn't a sparring partner. He's a high-speed wrecking ball with boxing gloves. Martinez doesn't just show up for work, he shows up to test your life insurance policy. He's pushing Crawford to levels we didn't even know existed. It's like Crawford is training for a fight with Godzilla and brought in King Kong to help him warm up. The fact that Crawford's camp went straight for a super middleweight killer shows their mindset. They're not inching into this fight. They're charging in like it's a Viking raid. No weight acclimation. No, let's see how it feels. Just war. Pure, unapologetic war. If you're not impressed by that, check your pulse. Now, while all this is happening, what's Canelo doing? He's being Canelo, of course, calm, composed, pretending like this is just another payday. But somewhere in the back of his mind, you know he's sweating a little. He's faced big punchers, he's faced slick boxers, but Crawford is both. And worse, he's got that look in his eye, the kind that says, I don't care who you are. I'm here to ruin your dynasty. And that scares people. Legacy fighters usually don't get challenged by guys on the way up the ladder. They get called out by YouTubers and CrossFit champions. Crawford is different. He's coming with real venom. His resume is real. His hunger is still real. And the scary part? He might be getting better.
You came a long way to stare off with Canelo Alvarez. How are you feeling now that the fight's here?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling blessed. And you know, everything's happened for a reason. And there's a reason why I'm here. In September, I'm going to show the world what greatness look like.
Had a chance to scout Canelo over 12 rounds. What did you think of that performance?
Well, he did what he had to do to get the job done for what was in front of him.
Remember, Terence Crawford's whole career has been an uphill battle for respect. People dismissed his wins as being not against real opponents. Then he undressed Errol Spence like a mannequin at a garage sale, and the entire boxing world fell silent. Now he's stepping into an even bigger challenge, and he's not even flinching. And that's what separates the greats from the gods. Canelo was once the hunter. He dismantled greats like Golovkin, Saunders, Smith. Legends fell like dominoes. But now the script is flipped. Crawford isn't stepping up in weight for the money. He's stepping up to write history in blood, sweat, and rope burns. And speaking of history, if Crawford pulls this off, if he actually beats Canelo at 168 pounds, the sport of boxing will have to rewrite its books. Not just a new chapter. We're talking a whole new volume. Undisputed in 3 divisions, never been done in this era. Not by Pacquiao, not by Mayweather, not by anyone. And this isn't a casual climb. This is going from the summit of Everest to scaling Olympus with your hands tied. And let's not act like this isn't eating at Canelo. He's proud. He's proud of his belt collection, his standing, his resume carved out of granite. But Crawford is threatening to etch his own name across it. You think Canelo's just going to lie down? He's training like a man preparing for war too. But the difference? He's preparing for a war. Crawford's training like the war's already started.
Floyd, but he's like the new Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Except he's not like Floyd. He's very different than Floyd. I think he's probably better than Floyd Mayweather, to be honest. Floyd Mayweather in his prime. Terence Crawford, right off the bat, what hits me different is, you know, his backstory. His mom, like, really downed him and degraded him growing up. And he had that fire inside of him to really prove that he's...
Meanwhile, the boxing world is collectively holding its breath. Every sparring update, every leaked clip, every word from trainers is dissected like a sacred text. And the hype? It's not hype anymore. It's prophecy. Crawford's team knows exactly what they're doing. They're not just training for victory, they're training for dominance. Dana White's involvement just adds another layer of madness to it all. When the UFC boss decides this is the fight worth launching his boxing brand on, you know it's bigger than belts. It's about seismic moments, earthquake punches, legacy-altering uppercuts. Dana White doesn't gamble small, and neither does Saudi Arabia's boxing scene, which has gone full Fast and Furious with oil money and flying carpets of cash. This isn't just boxing anymore. It's spectacle. It's cinema. It's an event where entrance music and pyro might matter almost as much as ring IQ. But in the middle of the chaos, Crawford remains still, stoic, grinding, punching through walls of doubt like they're made of cotton candy. Canelo may think his size is the golden ticket. That weight will weigh heavy on Crawford's dreams. But Bud is treating that size gap like an illusion. He's focusing on timing, spacing, and adaptation. He's fighting Canelo like a riddle, not a monster. And that, ironically, is what makes him the most dangerous man Canelo has ever faced. Because once you stop being afraid of the monster starts to get afraid of you.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. This is probably the best fight right now in boxing, in my opinion. 2 high-level fighters. Canelo's been on top of the game for a long time. Terence Crawford, I think right now, is the best boxer. You know, he's
it'll be a lot to get that victory based on, you know, size alone. Not that size wins fights, but you got a guy that got size and skills. It'll be hard. I mean, nothing's impossible. But if I had my money on somebody winning the fight, it'll be Canelo Alvarez, even though Terence Crawford is a great fighter.
Come fight night, Allegiant Stadium won't just be a venue. It'll be a volcano, and in the center, 2 giants, one with speed, the other with power, will collide, and only one can survive. Crawford has already won the psychological battle. He owns the headlines, he owns the narrative, and if he backs it up in the ring, then he'll own history too. So here we are, training videos dropped, camps are locked in, stadiums are being prepped, and boxing fans around the world are biting their nails down to dust. This isn't just the fight of the year, it's the collision of 2 legacies, one built on dominance, the other on defiance. And you better be watching. If you love this kind of no-holds-barred storytelling, high-octane fight breakdowns, and epic boxing showdowns, then don't just sit there. Smash that like button, drop a comment with who you think takes the win, and subscribe so you never miss another punch-perfect narrative again. War is coming. September 12th. Don't blink.